I think we are live. Uh, Here, what's up, Giants fans, Hub watchers, YouTube subscribers, Twitter and Instagram followers, and Kidblue watchers as well. Welcome back in to another episode of the Young Guns podcast. How y'all doing? I know a couple of y'all probably coming over from PTA or might even still be over at PTA. I'm gonna let y'all gather in here. What's up, KB? How you doing, bro?
Doing great, man. Doing great. Another week. Another week of the Giants getting a victory. It feels good. I'm gonna be feeling good all week, man.
What is this? 2 weeks of us being in first place now? Hey man, listen. Ooh, I'm showing really big here just because the way that I got it set up. I got to back up a little bit from my camera because
Yeah,
it's showing pretty big.
I
Our
love the
faces are
setup.
right there.
Holy crap! I love the setup.
Got the logo, got the labels, got the socials. Hey man, had to make a difference. What's up, everybody? Let me say shout out to everybody in the chat. We got Krez, Logan, Nate Talks Giants. Go over there, check his channel out. Quincy Cash, Sunday, Lucas. Uh, I'm scrolling down. Edward, Jalen, Bobby. Everybody say hi to Bobby.
What's going on, Bobby?
What's up, Bobby? How you doing? All right, KB. Where do we even start tonight, man? Are we starting with a Seattle recap? I mean, they already know my thoughts. Let's
Right.
get yours on Seattle, man. How you feeling?
As far as the Seattle game, I am thoroughly and shocked and surprised, but in a very good way. The Giants found a way to come out with the win. I'll be honest with you, on almost every live stream I did last week, I thought the Giants. I was on.
I picked them to lose. I should have picked them to lose.
Yeah, I picked them to lose. There's no shame in it. I think the majority of us really did do that. Besides a couple of people out there that thought the Giants were going to win, and hats off to you guys. But I am thoroughly shocked that the Giants pulled out this W, and I think it pretty much shows that the Giants are going to get things done not by who's on the field, but by coaching, by schematics. I think that's how the Giants are going to be running their organization, similar to like the New England Patriots. And I love the trend of which this Giants team is headed. As I'm coming out of focus a little bit, I really hate this camera now. Um,
When are you
but
gonna get a new one?
I don't know. But I just got this one, so I was hoping it will work out. But damn. But yeah, I love the trend in which the Giants are headed right now, and the direction they're going, because it really sends. Last week really sent the message saying, we're gonna adapt and play to the best of our ability despite who is on the field, and that's the best recipe for success. I talked about that in the video I just made. About keeping the defense together in 2021. I also had a disclaimer in the beginning of the video saying if the Giants decide to keep none of the players, if the Giants don't decide to keep a Leonard Williams, Dalvin
Logan
Thompson, or
Ryan.
Logan Ryan for whatever reason, I think they will bring back at least one of them, right? But are you okay? Are you all right?
Mm.
I was like, is he all right? But if the Giants don't, for some whatever reason, do not decide to keep these players, I still think the Giants will be okay. I have confidence the Giants will be all right because of the coaching. So that's pretty much my thoughts on the Seattle game. That's really my biggest takeaway from that, and the fact that the defense is a beast, and Wayne Goldman, the Wayne train just keeps rolling. That's why I just bought me a Wayne train shirt. Make sure you
Thank
guys
you.
pick up your merch in the description below. Pick up your Wayne train shirts.
Not just Wayne Train. You can't see it because the way the camera is, but the sack the Halls one as
Zach
well.
Paul.
Dexter
Yeah.
Lawrence with the sack behind him. I was actually considering, and it makes a lot more sense for me to put Leonard Williams on here. But just because I don't know if Leonard Williams is gonna be here next year yet, I was like, let me
Right.
put
You
Dexter
want
Lawrence
to get
out there.
laughed a little bit. Yeah.
Exactly. Shout out to everybody in here. We got the beard. He just hit the sub button. Thank you so much from Authentic and the Beard. Go over there, check them out, guys. Jaden Dawkins, Yvette's. Everybody's laughing at the fact they saw when I was eating. Somebody said, "Am I foaming at the mouth?" Nah, bro. It's okay. Jaden Dawkins says defense is top 10. Fire, fire, fire. Hey man, listen. How about this defense? This defense is legit.
Where do they rank in average right now? Like where
Let
do
me
they
pull it up.
rank in the NFL right now?
I should pull that up. Let me do that right now. I usually go off a Pro
Because they
Football
have to
Reference.
be well in the top 10. They have to be well in there. Hey, you just got a super chat as well. Make sure you catch that.
They are number 9 overall right now. So
Where
we
where
are.
do you get that? Where's your source from?
This is Pro Football Reference.
Hmm.
And shout out to Bobby Woodruff. Thank you so much, Bobby, for the $2 super chat. Great supporter, everybody. He says, Hub, am I gonna have any guests on? Not tonight. Usually I do it like once a week, every Tuesday. Even then, last night got me, and there's Saquon finally, a little bit delayed, but last night, that one troll got me. He's been on a roll. He's been getting almost anybody that does the call-in. It is what it is, but next Tuesday is gonna be the next call-in, man. So yeah, our defense is actually ninth overall in the league. What do you think about that, man? Did you? I don't think anybody expected this coming into the season, and they're doing so good with so many missing pieces.
Yeah, and again, I mentioned that in the video I just made. You know, coming into the season, we really thought with the coaching experience that Jason Garrett had that would be the side of the football that carries this team, and it's been the complete opposite. It's been the defense. It's been actually the least experienced squad to carry this team. You look at the defense as a whole, full of rookie contracts, starters, and a new defensive coordinator, and a guy that really, to be honest with you, Patrick Graham really hasn't had a lot of success in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
But coming to the Giants, he really proved a lot of people wrong, including myself. But you look at the offensive side of the football, who would have thought that in a pandemic season where experience is needed more than ever, that was the side of the football that was going to struggle the most? Like, I get the whole offensive line, how it's a new offensive line, a couple of new starters in there, Andrew Thomas as well. But you got Jason Garrett in there. You got Mark Colombo in there, Daniel Jones in his second year, Saquon Barkley coming back, Golden Tate, Sterling Shepard, Evan Ingram, all of these veterans on the field, right? And they couldn't get it together. But you look at this defense, and go ahead and get that super chat.
Shout out to LA Lou for the $2 super chat. This one came through immediately. I guess OBS finally caught up. Thank you so much. He says, who do you want to face in the playoffs? And by the way, interesting fact, for anybody that wants their super chat to be read aloud automatically with TTS, which is some OBS has text-to-speech, sometimes it could get funny, but you would use the link below. You wouldn't super chat through YouTube. You would super chat through Streamlabs website, just to put that out there. It would read aloud automatically. Just put that out there. Who would I want to face in the playoffs? We could talk about that right after, but like you were saying with this offense, how many veterans we got back, the fact that the offense is a lot more kept together from last year than this year. Right. Bro, that's why I had our offense being top 10 this year. And man, was I wrong. It was the complete opposite.
I think we were kind of in agreement with each other. Okay, it says the hub is kind of hard to hear.
Can you hear me better now? I think it might have been because I had my mic away a little bit.
Check your OBS settings. Your mic volume might be low.
Testing. I think it should be good now.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you just fine because I'm hearing you from Streamlabs.
Okay, guys, you gotta let me know. Okay. I got a couple people saying it wasn't that, but yeah, I bet they could hear now. I think it's a McChicken, Logan Gaming Lounge. It's a McChicken. But getting back to football here, yeah, like we had it flipped. We had it flipped, and the defense is completely outperforming expectations.
And you were probably for the most part in agreement with each other. How the defense was going to struggle and the offense was going to be, top 10 in the league. And I went out to say I had a really good video.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a really good video. I'm proud of that video of how I thought Jason Garrett was going to be the best addition to this New York Giants team in the offseason. Not a player, but a coach. But it turned out to be Patrick Graham, not Jason Garrett.
And what's funny is Graham, for me, was the only dude I was worried about because everybody else had some sort of pedigree.
Right. I was worried. Remember, I made it. Me and you, even when we first started the Young Guns podcast, we were talking about Patrick Graham, how he is that one coach that we don't know about success. Like even the position coaches, we were very confident in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Coach Chaos, Coach Burton, a bunch of the Shaplinsky. We were confident in a bunch of these position coaches, but we were like, man, what this Patrick Graham guy, Miami, historically bad defense. He was coming from Green Bay as well.
Last year's Miami defense was bad. It was bad.
So and now it's good. So I was wondering, man, was Patrick Graham the issue? Turns out it wasn't. Maybe it just wasn't his team. It just wasn't his team to coach.
And Miami did get an influx of talent this year, free agent wise, when not a lot of former Patriots.
A couple drafted guys as well. They drafted pretty well. Defense.
Here's the thing, man, and this is kind of leading into something I wanted to get to later, but we already talking about the defense, man. A big topic, Leonard Williams. We obviously need to re-sign him, and you put out that video today. We need to keep the defense together, so we're in agreement with that. I think everybody in the chat would be in agreement to that. But what are you giving him? He's asking 20 to 25.
Leonard Williams is asking $20 to $25 million.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Who is the highest paid defensive end right now?
No, well, he would be paid as a defensive tackle. So
Not getting that.
highest paid defensive tackle right now. I know the top three are Buckner, Donald, and Chris Jones in that order. So Buckner, I think, is the highest paid defensive tackle right now.
Buckner, I think, is getting not even close to 25 though.
Buckner is getting.
I think he's getting 21.
No, I think he's getting 22. I think Donald is right around 20.
And Chris is 19 and a half, right?
Chris Jones is also right around that 20 mark, yeah.
19 and a half. Okay, Leonard Williams is not getting that. All right, and I would not pay Leonard Williams damn near close to that. I wouldn't even get close to that. I said in my video that Leonard Williams, realistically enough, I would offer him 17 million. If he doesn't like it, then we'll have to negotiate, and maybe he could convince me. But listen. What's up? Authentic is in the building. What's going on?
Shout out to Authentic, man. How you doing, bro?
But as far as Leonard Williams go, I want to pay him so bad. I really do want to pay him. But is he worth $20 to $25 million? I just can't say he is. I just can't say. And remember what I told you guys. I said this. I said this for a couple weeks. No matter who we bring in here, as long as you have good coaching, no matter who we bring in here, drafted talent, undrafted talent, late round talent, doesn't matter. We are still going to put out similar production out there if we have good coaching.
Who are you replacing Leo with if we can't get him back though? That's the question.
But that all depends on maybe another free agent or a drafted player. We don't know. But I trust no matter who it is.
Real quick, my bad. So the chat is saying the 20 to 25 was a rumor, not confirmed. It was a rumor.
Okay. But if everybody in the chat, everybody everywhere in Giants media, they will say, I love Patrick Graham. I love the coaching the New York Giants. Okay, if you honestly love and trust this coaching staff, you would not care who is going to be re-signed to this team. All you would be worried about is how the coaches would be taking it. So I love Leonard Williams. I want to see him back on here. But if we lose out Leonard Williams, if we lose out on Dalvin Thompson, if we lose out on Logan Ryan, I'm going to be okay at the end of the day.
I don't know about that, bro. Okay, so I'll tell you the only person I'm going to be okay with losing out on. It's funny because he might be the most important one because he's a leader would be Logan Ryan because I know we already got his replacement is already on the roster. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But at the same time, it's like losing out on Leo is a big hit, man.
Right.
I know that we think, you know what I'm saying, with the new coaching staff and whatnot, we could plug and play, and that's been the case. We have been plugging and playing, but Leo is the best pass rusher on his team by far right now. I don't know who is filling in that hole. That's the question.
And that's the thing. That's why I'm kind of leaning towards. I think the Giants are going to prioritize keeping Leonard Williams, although he affects the cap. He's more active on this defense and more useful on this defense than a Dalvin Thompson. I'm not taking anything away from Dalvin Thompson. I think he's a phenomenal player, and I think he's only asking for $10 million, which is awesome. But
he did say that he would take a pay cut. Dalvin.
Right, he would take a pay cut. But we do have another nose tackle on this team, and we do have someone to fill in Dexter Lawrence's place when Dexter Lawrence, if Dexter Lawrence would shift to that nose tackle spot. We do have, like, the scenario is already laid out perfectly there. Mm-hmm. So I do see the Giants keeping Leonard Williams over Dalvin Thompson because it's not like we have another pass rush threat other than Leonard Williams right now. You know, we can't really hang our hat on Lorenzo Carter or O'Shane Ximena. They've been inconsistent.
They have yet to prove, yeah.
Yet to prove. Even though Lorenzo Carter got off to a good start, he still was hurt, and we have to see how his rehab is and if he comes back to full strength. So that leaves the Giants with a huge question mark, and not just edge rusher. Forget about edge rusher, pass rusher. Does anybody to rush the passer? If Leonard Williams were to leave this team, yes, the Giants would be in a tough spot right now. So I think the Giants should definitely prioritize keeping Leonard Williams. And, you know, we'll see what happens with Dalvin Thompson. So I have my projected cap total for those three players, $39 million. Now, whether Dave Gettleman decides...
I'm going to let you explain this. I'm going to let you explain this a little bit. Okay. I'm going to need to hear the breakdown.
Yeah. So $39 to $40 million I have the Giants projected with those three players. And that's just an average number, everybody. That is just an average number. That is not set in stone, but that's like their average number they'll be making per year. Now, if they're going to be making that next year, per se, is not set in stone. So because you could backload a contract, you could front load a contract, you can mess with the different numbers of a contract, right? But let's say just the average of that being consistent, right? Let's just throw
Who
that
was the
out
three?
there.
You said Dalvin, Leo, and who?
Dalvin, Leo, and Logan Ryan. So I
And
have Dalvin Tomlinson with a
so
projected.
wait. Where's Jabril Peppers? We gotta extend him this offseason.
No, we don't need to extend him this offseason. He's not necessarily needed this offseason. He's on his 5th year. He's
Yeah,
on his
he'll
fifth
be on
year.
his 5th year, but that's when you extend them, like right as they're about to hit their fifth.
You don't necessarily unless they're a like a slam dunk. You need to keep this guy. I'm not on that. I like Jabril Pepper. I think he's a huge addition to this team, but I don't think he's like a generational talent where we need to make sure we sign this guy back. So I would like to see what the Giants do first, who they're going to keep on this squad with Leonard Williams, Dexter Lawrence, and then they could worry about getting Jabril Peppers back.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, before I go into like breaking it down, I want to give a quick like disclaimer here. These numbers are throwing out are just example numbers each year. Now, those numbers that I'm about to mention can be different with each year that their contract is, because you could backload a contract, you could front load a contract, you could have a whole mixture of guaranteed money with signing bonus. GMs know how to work that stuff, right? So, similar to what they did with James Bradbury's contract and Blake Martinez's contract, right? Well, in this situation, we're just going to keep it the averages to make it simple and sweet.
Mm-hmm.
I have a projected cap total for Leonard Williams. This may be budging a little bit, maybe a little far fetched. Get that super chat first.
Shout out to DJ Smooth for the $2 super chat. Thank you so much. He says, we're beating the Cardinals, and you have us in the postseason. We beat the Cardinals. We're definitely in the postseason. We beat the Cardinals.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how Washington would catch up.
Wins with, 3 more games left? We got this.
Bro, we beat the Cardinals. That puts us at 7 wins because we're going to beat Dallas week 17, bro. I don't see Washington getting there. And they would need to get 8 to get in, not 7. But yeah,
right.
Continue. And I'm going to get back to LA Lou super chat about who do I want to face in the playoffs right after you finish your defensive signing things.
Yeah, so Leonard Williams, it might be a little far-fetched, guys, and you guys could agree to disagree with me in the comment section and give me your estimated amounts, but I had Leonard Williams about $17 to $18 million, okay? $17 to $18 million is where I really see Leonard Williams. If he stays with this team, that's not what he's worth, okay? If he stays with this team, he may get more money. He may get $20 million elsewhere. You never know. He may get $20 million elsewhere. I don't think he's worth that, to be honest with you. I think he's a great player. I don't think he's of the impact that Chris Jones or Aaron Donald is, or even a DeForest Buckner. But he would get that kind of money if he decides to leave. But hopefully, with the whole culture change that's happening with this team, he would want to stay for a little less money. $17 to $18 million is where I really see Leonard Williams staying with this team for. Dalvin Tomlinson, he, according to SpotRack.com, he's like projected $8.5 million. That's disgustingly low. I think Dalvin Tomlinson is worth $12 million, 10 to 12. Now, if we get him for 10, that's a slam dunk right there. But I have him at $12 million. And then Logan Ryan, I have him at $10 million. Although he's a great player, he still is going to be past his 30s, which helps the Giants, because 30 is that magic number between, how much you make in the NFL. 30 is that magic number no matter how well you've been playing. So, he's over 30 now, so we should be able to get him a little cheaper. And so Logan would have about $10 million per year. So adding that together, that's about, with Leonard Williams, $17 to $18 million, that's about $39 to $40 million right there. So, and the Giants are projected $22 million in cap space this year. But if they cut Kevin Zeitler, or find a way to trade Kevin Zeitler, they cut Kevin Zeitler, if they cut Nate Solder, if they cut Golden Tate, and if they cut Levine Toilolo, they would total the amount of $43 million. Now, that still kind of doesn't give you a lot.
Yo, this is going to be a weird question. Is Spencer Pulley still on the team?
Yes, he is, and you can even cut him as well. That'll probably give you another $2 million to work with.
Yeah, not to mention, in addition to Spencer Pulley, there's somebody else on the offensive side that I'm forgetting. There's one sneaky person, but on the offensive side that I'm just completely forgetting that you could cut. They'll free up some space, but on the defensive side, David Mayo might be gone too.
David Mayo might be gone as well with the addition of Tate Crowder and how well he's performing. So yeah, those are just 4 names that I mentioned. Dion Lewis. So those are just 4 names. Like I said in my video, there are other. Cam Fleming, another.
Yeah, so, shout out to Tana in the chat, by the way.
Tana, what's going on? Are we clipping wings? Hell yeah, we're clipping some wings. But those were just 4 names that I mentioned in my video. Levine Toilolo, I almost said Sterling Shepard. Golden Tate, Kevin Zeitler, and Nate Solder. You found a way to get rid of all 4 of those contracts. That brings your cap total to $43 million. And those are just 4 names I mentioned, for example. Okay. Now, if we just cut those guys, that brings us to $43 million. And with that estimated $39 million, the Giants would.
David A.V. brings up a good one. Devontae Freeman's not going to be back in next year either, but he's already on a 1-year deal. So
yeah, he's on a 1-year deal, so he didn't even add up to the count for the cap to next year anyway. So, that being said, the Giants wouldn't keep all 3 with just the $43 million that they're saving. That 39, eating up 39 for 3 players, $39 million for $43 million in cap space. That's just not possible. I don't think the Giants would do that. But they would have to find a way to,
they'll have to find a way to finagle it, man.
Yeah, and like everybody's saying, Fleming, Lewis, and Pulley. David Mayo. You could cut other guys in there, and free up some more cap space, to sign those 3 players. And a lot of people also say you also have to sign other free. What about the other free agents? To be completely honest with you, yes. To be completely honest with you, I don't care if we sign anybody else besides.
No, I need depth.
Yeah. No, not even depth. Like the depth guys, I don't even care about as well. Okay, the optional guys.
That's where I disagree with you. I need my depth, bro, offensively and defensively.
Look at the free agents list before you listen. Look at the free agents list. There's not a lot of guys that you say we need to keep him, right? Okay, here are the optional guys on the defensive side of the football. Kyler Fackrell, he's projected $5.5 million, right, to pay him as a rotational pass rusher. Kyler Fackrell, he's optional. Austin Johnson, he's been a good rotation guy, $1.5 million, right? And then Jabbar Sheard, veteran minimum of $1 million. That's the only defensive guys in free agency that I'd be willing to keep, and those are optional. That adds up to only $8 million. That's nothing. And
that's what I'm saying. I care about the depth. I would still put money towards the depth, bro.
Right.
You know what? You mentioned Cam Fleming. I might consider bringing back Cam Fleming. I know we hate him, but we hate him as a starter. He's good depth.
But not for the same contract.
Oh yeah, it will definitely have to be adjusted. But I would try and bring him back or somebody similar to Cam Fleming because he would be great tackle depth.
Right. I'd be completely for that. Cam Fleming, I believe, remains with this team. I don't think he's a free agent. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think he's a pending free agent. Is he?
You would have to check. But before we even get more into that, before I forget about it, LA Super Chat was, who do you want to face in the playoffs? And congrats to Lou's team, by the way, because the Rams, I think, are currently first in the NFC West. You're welcome. You're welcome. We did that for you. You're welcome. Who would I want to face in the playoffs? The Bucks 100%.
Bucks. I don't care about matchup.
I just want to face the Bucks. I want to shut them down.
I think that is the biggest win we left there on the table.
You know what's crazy, Kidblue? Bro, ever since we played the Bucks, they ain't been the same. They ain't been our defense destroyed them or something because they ain't been the same. That offense hasn't been working.
This for years. It's something about that NY, bro. When he sees that blue helmet,
when Brady sees that NY, bro, he goes,
He is like, bro, I want another chance at Brady. I bet you Brady was like, oh my God, I can't believe we got away with that one.
Bro, he doesn't want to see us in the playoffs, bro. And it's crazy because he came over here thinking we weren't even going to be a factor. And now, listen, right now the projected 5th seed is funnily enough the Seahawks. I don't think it's going to be the Seahawks by the end of the season. There's a really good chance it could be the Bucks. Oh, man, bro. You talk about if you don't take a day off for that game, we can't stream anymore together. If you don't take a day off for that game, bro.
The Bucks.
If it's the Bucks versus Giants wild card weekend.
Bro, listen, it's gonna be after Christmas. I'll be back. Mm-hmm. I'll be back on Sundays, guys. I know a lot of people probably don't want me back. me and Hub were actually talking about this off camera, guys. I'm gonna be there for the Browns game. It got flexed to Sunday, and we could talk about that as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it got flexed to Sunday Night Football. I will be there for that game, so we can live stream that game together. That's gonna be a lot of fun. And if they lose and we beat the Cardinals, and I'm not there, and then we lose to the Cleveland Browns, I will be convinced that I put a curse on the Giants. And every game I watch is Legma said KB is canceled.
Look, Joel's saying no, don't be there for the Browns.
I just want to watch my team play, man. Damn.
You could watch him, but you won't be able to be on camera.
I can watch it off camera. I can listen on the radio.
Yeah. Shout out to DJ Smooth for the $2 super chat. Thank you so much. He says, I dead thought the 49ers game was done for us. A lot of people did. A lot of people thought after that 49ers game that was it for the season. People were like, "All right, bro, let's."
Every time it got blown out.
Yeah, they were like, "Let's wrap it up, bro. Call it a burrito. It's a wrap. The season is over. That's it. It's gonna be another 2018, 2019, 2017 season." But I think that Rams game gave a lot of people hope. And I saw the Logan Ryan interview on Colin Cowherd. He pointed out that Rams game as well. Colin asked him, "Yo, what was like what was the turning point, if you could label it, of the season?" Logan Ryan said that Rams game, the team really felt something because they said, they saw that they could stay in there and compete with a real contender. That Rams game did a lot for the team.
Right. I completely agree. And that's honestly where I always say the Bucks game is where we really saw the fight, but yeah, you can go back to that Rams game and listen, what's really been the detriment to the New York Giants early on in the season were a couple of plays. Where one or two plays, because we hold tight with these teams throughout the game, and then like that Cooper Kupp touchdown, right? If take that Cooper Kupp touchdown and we force 4 straight 3-and-outs, or maybe just 4 straight punts, right? Take away that Cooper Kupp touchdown, and the Giants would only need a field goal to win that game, and there will be no Daniel Jones interception.
Shout out to DJ Smooth once again, by the way, for the $2 super chat. He said, "No cap, I wanted Trevor Lawrence." Hey man, listen. I hope you feel differently.
DJ Smooth, and you have is that Daniel Jones?
That has to be Daniel Jones.
What are you doing?
Please tell me you feel differently now, DJ Smooth. Please.
Oh man, that's funny.
But you have a good point. If that Cooper Kupp touchdown doesn't happen, maybe DJ isn't down there. But hey man, look at the turnaround, right? Before we spend so much time talking about the past, look at the turnaround. When DJ comes back during the Bengals, and let's shift this topic. The Bengals. They're in the Cardinals, and let's shift this topic to that. Mm-hmm. He's been playing such good football since Buccaneers, man, and he's improved so much. The turnovers are down. He's making smart plays. He's making smart throws. How do you feel about him coming back, and what do you think the chances are? There was a little bit of update today saying that he feels good. He's on track. What are you thinking?
I think he should be there. I didn't think his injury was that bad. I think it was just more precautionary that he was held out of that Seattle game. I think if he played, I think he would be like 80%. And of course, you want your quarterback at 100%. And I think Joe Judge recognized that against a really good opponent. So I think it was okay with me that Daniel Jones did not play. And I would fully believe, if somebody told me that he's ready to play, I'd fully believe that he is ready to play in this game against the Cardinals. And, you mentioned it. The Giants are 3-0 in games that Daniel Jones does not turn over the football. Now, about 2.5 games he's played in because he got knocked out of that Cincinnati game. Mm-hmm. But it's no coincidence that when you don't turn over the ball, you have a better chance of winning games. So Daniel Jones has been on the right track, and he had over 200 yards against Cincinnati before he got hurt. So now he's starting to really develop a feel for passing the football. As we haven't seen his numbers really rise this season or really get to where they need to be. He's still at 8 touchdowns for 9 interceptions.
So let's speak about the offense real quick, because he says numbers is rising. That is on him, but also on the offensive coordinator. And as a Dallas Cowboys fan, you got to tell me what you think about Jason Garrett this year.
Jason Garrett, it's very similar.
Hold up. Did y'all notice I said as a Dallas Cowboys fan, he didn't even rebut it?
Oh, my God.
It's proof. It's proof.
I didn't notice.
He didn't even notice because it's like, I am a Dallas fan.
Right now. Why are you
That's proof. That's proof. All right, but you can continue. I was actually expecting you to say something.
Answer the question here.
I was expecting you to say something, but you're a Dallas fan. All right, continue, Dallas fan. Continue.
Oh, man, but listen, it's fine. I didn't even notice you said that. I did not even notice you said that.
Continue.
But as far as Jason Garrett goes, I think it's more of like a love-hate relationship, as every fan has with their offensive coordinator, right? You love him one week, you hate him. You love him one week, you hate him the next week. It's same thing with Jason Garrett. He's not spectacular. He's still figuring out this offense, in my opinion. He's taking a little too long in figuring out what works on this offense. Granted, he plays them twice a year. I know there's a lot of pieces changed, but he still has some veteran players that he's played against already. He's already played against Daniel Jones, I believe, once before. He's played against Evan Ingram a number of times, Sterling Shepard, the offensive line for the most part. He's played against these guys, and I was very confused in why Jason Garrett would use this offense the way that he did. But I feel like he's slowly getting on the right track. You see the Giants running the ball a lot more. You could tell Jason Garrett is getting a lot more comfortable running the ball, as you've seen early on in the season. If the Giants did not work running the ball, he would completely panic and just pass the ball the rest of the game. Daniel Jones was throwing it over 40 times for I think like 5 straight weeks. He was throwing, and we were 0-5 in all of those games.
Mm-hmm.
So you could see a huge turnaround in the play calling. There's a lot more runs.
The Wayne train has been in full effect.
Right. Well, we're still getting a little too cute, which I think Jason Garrett is trying to implement in this offense, trying to make it a regular thing where we get some yardage that way. But which I don't mind whatsoever, as long as it's just not always to Evan Ingram all the time. And especially in the right moments, right? It gets that Cincinnati game. We score on the first drive, and then we come out in the second drive, and we have a Golden Tate pass. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Start using what works, and when it doesn't work, and then you do your little cute plays. But I love-hate relationship for Jason Garrett, to keep that short. I think there's still more left. Still more left to be seen on Jason Garrett as far as his potential with this offense.
Mm-hmm. And I saw Joseph Clark says this, and this is a really interesting comment. He says Garrett's offense has a limited ceiling. I feel like his passing game is a square hole, and his weapons are round pegs.
That makes a lot of sense, because that's exactly what I was just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Jason Garrett is having a hard time figuring out the personnel. He's having a hard time figuring out what these players are good at. Now, Joe Judge said in his first press conference, we're going to find out what these players are good at, and we're going to, focus on what they're good at, not what they can't do. Focus on what they can do, not what they can't do. Now, it doesn't seem like Jason Garrett's holding that side of the bargain there. He's not really holding that. What are we, week 14 already, and he still can't figure out what these guys are good at doing. Like, you're still not using Sterling Shepard for deep plays. He's still like a third down 5-yard option guy. Darius Slayton is still not your first read on a lot of plays. Just a lot of things, man. Use Wayne Gallman. I'd never seen Wayne Gallman used in the passing game. I know he's a great runner, but he's also a really good catcher of the football as well.
Saquon would be used in the passing game.
Exactly. So, you have to figure out how to use this personnel. And who said that comment? Who was it that said that comment?
Joseph Clark.
Mr. Clark hit it right on the head, man. The offense is a square hole, and what do you say? The offense is a square hole, and
the weapons are round pegs.
So that's exactly, he hit it right on the head.
And thank you for everybody for tuning in. I see a couple new people in here as well. New York Chris, CJ, Ashley. I see a couple reoccurring. Nick the Wick, Mark Primetime, who by the way says, KB, my man, stay away from the Cowboys. We are a toxic team.
Even a Cowboys fan saying it.
Shout out to DJ Smooth once again for the $2 super chat. Thank you so much. He says, when Judge came here, I knew we was back months ago. Oh, okay. He's saying, so he had faith in Joe Judge for a while now. And Judge, how do you feel about a lot of fans giving this man hype for Coach of the Year consideration? What are you thinking?
So before I get into that, huge shout out to my guy King Sean. He's been a huge supporter of our channels lately, and he's a Washington fan. And I'm really looking forward to the Washington Giants rivalry. I guess we'll talk about
like being a rivalry again.
Yeah, I'm really all for that. But as far as Joe Judge, that's what we're talking about, right? Joe Judge. As far as Joe Judge goes, I've been a huge believer of Joe Judge. The whole, like, even when I made that crazy video that we were done with the Giants, when I was done with the New York Giants, whatever. I still said,
don't put me in there. You said we were.
You were.
I
was done with the New York Giants. I still said in that same video that I'm not saying that I don't believe in Joe Judge. I'm not saying I don't even believe in next season. I actually am really hopeful for next season. At that time, I just said I was done with the season. In particular, Joe Judge has always been my guy ever since his first press conference. I always said this. Ever since his first press conference, I want to run through a wall for this guy. Always had the utmost respect and utmost confidence in Joe Judge. I think he's the guy. I've said this before. I think he is going to be on the Mount Rushmore of Giants coaches when it's all said and done. I honestly think that. I'm not saying that what he's done now warrants that. I say he's on the right path to doing that. He's already on the right track. If this stays consistent, this guy is going to be up there with the Tom Coughlins of the world, the Bill Parcells, the Bill Belichick's, in Giants history. I mean, he is going to be up there.
Mm-hmm. And the funny part is, now I'm not old enough to recall it, but I had a couple fans calling last night. Joe was one of them. He's one of the older fans. People in the chat were saying the way that this is going with Judge is very similar to how Bill Parcells, first couple of years went with the Giants. He came in, we weren't that good, and he just got it going. The way he's coaching and whatnot, I can't speak on that, but from what a couple of my older fans are telling me, it's very similar. I don't know if you could speak on that though.
Well, yeah, I'm not that much older than you, so I wouldn't know either. But one thing I can say is we don't even need to go that far back for a comparison. Tom Coughlin. Tom Coughlin, when he was hired, was also working with a new quarterback. They were also a bad team, and they were also.
I wouldn't say they were bad. Just a couple years before they were in the Super Bowl, 2000.
Right, but I mean, you look at the 2013 Giants. We were in the Super Bowl 2 years prior, and we sucked. So as far as that goes, Tom Coughlin was on the hot seat before the Super Bowl as one of the guys to be fired, and I believe his first year was 2004.
Yeah,
he been when Eli was drafted, and Tom Coughlin also was in the media and criticized by the media with his coaching methods and how hard he is on a team and how the team is not going to respond to him in the right way. Exactly the same way Joe Judge has been looked at throughout mainstream media. Oh, this guy's not going to stick. Players aren't going to take that BS.
Real quick, don't mean to interrupt you. Shout out to Engraven Vids in here, y'all. Engraven Vids, great Ravens content creator. Go check him out. He does, general NFL stuff every now and again as well. Very, very entertaining, guys. Definitely got to go check him out. I will be having him back on the week we play the Ravens to talk about that matchup as well. But go ahead, continue, KB.
That's fun. Looking forward to talking to you, Engraven. But what we call? Oh yeah. So as far with Tom Coughlin, everything for all the newer fans, all the younger fans, everything that Joe Judge is going through right now as far as criticism with his coaching methods is exactly what Tom Coughlin went through back then. You look at every interview. I loved Michael. There was a documentary about the Giants about.
Is it the America's Game one?
No. It was the Football Life Tom Coughlin, that documentary. And it was all about Tom Coughlin and his journey in the NFL. And Michael Strahan was a huge part of that documentary. And he said
Michael Strahan was not a fan of him when he first got here.
Hated. He's not ashamed to say it. He said it with a smile on his face. He hated Tom Coughlin. And he said his teammates hated Tom Coughlin. Everyone hated Tom Coughlin. They didn't want to talk to him. They were scared of him. They had, but they eventually Tom Coughlin lightened up and earned their respect, and now he's gone down as the second best Giants coach of all time. And some people may say the first. I say Parcells is over that because Parcells had a huge impact on this team. But Tom Coughlin also had a huge impact on this team. To this day, 3 head coaches later after Tom Coughlin. That's crazy to say. 3 head coaches later, in the New York Giants facility, they still have the clocks turned back 10 minutes. They still do that.
Wait, that's still a thing?
That is a tradition in Giant. Ben McAdoo, when he was the head coach, he said this is not changing. I believe in Pat Shermer's introductory thing as well. He said that's not changing as well. So
how do we know that Judge didn't change it?
Oh, it's Joe Judge. I know he has respect. Game recognizes game. All right. I guarantee you the clocks are still 10 minutes behind over there or is it 10 minutes ahead?
It's 10 minutes. It's 10 minutes. You always got to be there. He said if you're 10 minutes early, you're late or something like that.
No, if you're on time, you're late.
Oh, yeah, if you're on time, you're late, so you got to be there 10 minutes early. Yeah, exactly. That's, Tom Coughlin, man. I love that guy. He doesn't even get enough appreciation, man. The way he left the organization was so trash.
Not even that. The controversy that happened in Jacksonville was bad on Tom Coughlin's name, and I honestly feel bad. He shouldn't have never been in that position. I think he just wanted football so bad, and he kind of messed up the Jacksonville Jaguars a little bit. He's kind of the reason why they are the way they are right now. And so that kind of ruined his legacy. But as far as the Giants go, he will always have respect from me, man. I'm not gonna lie, man. Not gonna lie, your boy teared up when Tom Coughlin left the Giants, and I saw Eli Manning cry.
I think everybody did.
Teared up when I saw Eli Manning cry.
Well, I wouldn't say everybody, but I did it as well.
Eli Manning has the most like puppy dog face I've ever seen when he starts to cry. His legs were, I mean, his damn lips were like trembling and all that. So, man,
I'll tell you, I'm gonna cry when Eli gets into the Hall of Fame, bro. And it's gonna happen. And I know it's like probably 6 years down the line from now. I'm probably gonna cry during his Hall of Fame speech. No lie. It's
Tom Coughlin is the Giants' greatest head coach, no debate. I mean, Jaden, you are a little too young to see Bill Parcells. I was as well, but I've seen a lot of documentaries on Bill Parcells. Parcells had a lot to do with this franchise and where it is today. I would say it can be debatable, but I'm sorry, Parcells has it for me. They both have 2 rings, which is awesome, but Parcells has it for me.
hey man, if history is gonna repeat itself, we should get 2 rings with Judge.
Oh, way more.
Way
How about,
more with the way
how
it's
about
being built.
more? How about more, man?
All right, let's shift it to what the title says. Clip them wings. How we clipping this Arizona wings tonight, bro? How we gonna? This is gonna be the third team we're gonna be cooking up some birds, man. What
Right.
they gonna do against Kyler Murray?
Listen, one thing I will say, and I never thought I would say this, the Giants actually hold dual threat quarterbacks, mobile quarterbacks. They hold them. They don't really. That's why I'm okay with facing Lamar Jackson as well. We don't care, you know. Even though the Giants have a hard time as far as not even a hard time. They don't have big names on the edge, right? They had Carter Coughlin last week and Jabal Sheard and Cam Brown mixed in there as well, and they were still able to contain Russell Wilson. They'll do the same thing to Kyler Murray. So I have no
I'll tell you
doubt
what.
ever.
The Cardinals have lost 4 of their last 5 games.
Right.
They were a team that started off hot. They're 6-6 now.
Now, this could be a game where the Cardinals were like, no, you know what? I'm tired of losing. I'm just going to play all out. That could be what's happening, what's coming for the Giants. But as far as the trends are going, the Cardinals are a train wreck right now. They started off really hot. Now they're going downhill. So who knows? Backs against the wall, they may perform a lot better. But let's see how this Giants team plays now with
Tana says the Cardinals are as soft as tissue paper.
Sauce's tissue favorite, yeah, especially the defense. So, their defense allows like 30 points. Like we all talk about the Cowboys' defense, how bad it is, and that's why
And
nobody
Seahawks.
talks about the Cardinals' defense. Yeah, everybody's talking about the Cowboys' defense, but nobody's talking about this Cardinals' defense, and it's bad too. It's really bad. And Isaiah Simmons is a real big part of that as well.
They shifted him to linebacker, didn't they?
Yeah, then they shifted into linebacker. I think middle linebacker as well. A lot of people said that they don't see him as a middle linebacker. I actually saw him as a middle linebacker. I think that's the only position he should play in the NFL. He's not a safety. He's not even a weak side guy. I think he is a middle linebacker in the 3-4. So I don't know. Let's see how that works. But he's a Tampa 2 linebacker, in my opinion. He's a Tampa 2 linebacker. So
No, this is gonna be the question. I see Jane Dawkins says Marcus Golden versus Andrew Thomas. Listen, my guy and our guy Andrew Thomas has been killing it these past 5 weeks, and we told y'all to stay patient.
great.
Told y'all. Andrew Thomas is gonna have a field day against the Cardinals. Listen, it's not even gonna be Marcus Golden. Is it not gonna be Chandler Jones? Is Chandler Jones injured or something? No, it's gonna be Chandler Jones versus Andrew Thomas, and I fully expect Thomas to have a good matchup against him. I expect them. Listen, Chandler's gonna get his couple of wins, but I think Thomas is gonna come out on top in that matchup.
Bordenero had a really good comment. He said Hopkins versus Bradbury, baby. Yes.
Part 2.
Yes, part 2. So I'm gonna go back in my while I do this, you probably talk or something like that. I'm gonna go back in my video of the film review I did on James Bradbury back when we signed him.
Oh
And
my God, KB. Justin
Yes.
just told me in the chat, Chandler is out, bro. Andrew Thomas is gonna have a field day. This man's gonna have like 7 pancakes, bro. He's gonna be matched up against Marcus Golden.
Chandler Jones been out. Chandler Jones is on the IR.
I did not know. I don't keep up with the Cardinals like that.
Chandler Jones been out for a while, so we'll be okay. So we just have to worry about Marcus Golden. But I'm gonna go back to my James Bradbury when we signed him, because I had the stat of how many yards he allowed on DeAndre Hopkins, and that was honestly
That was last year when Texans played the Panthers.
that was one of Bradbury's best games I've watched when I was watching him on film, because against Mike Evans, he wasn't that fantastic. But against DeAndre Hopkins, that's why I was really sold on James Bradbury. I think he held him to like 5 catches and 19 yards or something like that. In total, he had like 40 yards, but it was in garbage time when they were playing prevent defense, so I didn't count those yards because at that point, the Panthers already won that game. So, and they were just like letting their foot off the gas pedal. but I can't find it right now. But James Bradbury only allowed like 20 yards on Hopkins, and I was thoroughly impressed on that. And he followed him throughout the game. So,
And here's the
uh,
thing, I expect a repeat performance. If it's something better, I'm gonna be ecstatic. But I expect a repeat performance because I think Deshaun Watson is a better quarterback than Kyler Murray. B, if we could confuse Russell Wilson or at the very least make him not pass the ball as well as he usually does, we can 100% do that on Kyler. Are you taller than a fifth grader Murray, man? Come on now. We should have success on this guy. What do you expect Kyler Murray to do anything this game? Do you think our defense is gonna shut him down? Am I being too optimistic?
no, you're not. You're not because if you think about, listen, I know they're both in the NFC West. There's a lot of similarities, but you can really compare the Seattle offense to Arizona's offense. Like they are very, very similar. And in my opinion, I think what's his name? Cliff
Kingsbury.
Berry, right? I think he really modeled this offense of what Seattle is doing. Listen, they don't have a great offensive line similar to Seattle. They have a dual threat quarterback a young dual threat quarterback who is most relatable to Russell Wilson. And they have some good wide receivers. And if you ask me, the Seattle Seahawks have better wide receivers than Arizona's as a whole. I think DeAndre Hopkins is probably better than both Tyler Lockett and DK, but as a whole, I think Arizona is not as good as far as Seattle. So if you ask me, they're just a carbon copy of Seattle's offense, just a little less talented. And we held Seattle's offense to 10 offensive points. So there's no reason why we shouldn't replicate that against the Arizona Cardinals and back-to-back weeks. So it's not like we have to deal with another type of team. No, we're facing the same type of team 2 weeks in a row. The Giants should be used to this.
Shout out to Zach Phillips. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. He says, remember that video from in practice? This was during the offseason when Matt Peart destroyed Marcus Golden. I remember that video.
Yes, back in like whatever
Training camp.
Yeah. The limited training camp they had. We saw that video of a pair, and that was the video. That was the video that we went. The next time we went live, I'm like, I told you guys, Peart is the truth. He's gonna start day one. All this stuff, and I'm like,
hey, yo, you know what? Let's get into that. If he does not start against the Cardinals, because he's gonna be back,
he's hurt.
When is?
Yeah, he's hurt. He's on the injury report. He's limited in practice.
Okay, yeah, limited in practice. I still think he's gonna have snaps.
He's limited.
No, when you said hurt, I thought you meant he got put on IR, bro. Don't scare me like that.
No,
with all the injury scares we've had the past couple of years, listen, him being on the injury report, I'm fine with that because come actual game day, there's a lot of dudes that's always on the injury report. Like, for example, Sterling Shepard lives on the injury report. He's fine during game day. I think he's going to be fine during game day.
I want him to start, but they might not.
He won't start, but I expect him to play.
Just because Cam Fleming is actually performing really well. He was graded higher than Andrew Thomas last week. Think about this. What a flip-flop. The Giants were ranked the worst tackle duo in the NFL early on in the season. Now they had a total of 0 pressures and was the best tackle duo last week.
Coach Googs.
Coach Googs. NFL.
Coach Googs.
That's insane, dude. They literally went from worst to first.
Coach now, hey, we gotta ask this question. How much that has to do with the fact that Seattle don't really got edge rushers like that?
I understand that much. And Carlos Dunlap didn't even play, did he?
No.
So I understand that part. I really do. But at the same time, and yes, this 2 straight weeks in a row that they face a Cincinnati team that only had 13 sacks on the season. And then Seattle, who are not very known for their pass rushing ability, but they are really good at stopping the run. And the offensive line bullied that team
in the second half, completely bullied them.
Yes, total 190 yards. So, gotta love it. Gotta love it.
What do we even expect? I'm looking at this Cardinals defense, right?
Yeah.
What are we even expecting from them? Like, now I said the same thing with Seattle, and we barely put up points, but that's with Cole McCoy. With Daniel Jones presumably starting this game, what kind of offensive day are we expecting for the Giants? Because this Arizona defense, I'm looking at it, I'm like, not too impressed.
I'll be honest. I think the game plan is going to stay the same, and a lot of people said that the game plan did not change when we had Colt McCoy in the lineup. They still had their rollouts. They still ran the ball, similar to what they did here. They still try to go deep a couple of plays.
Are we going to score more points? Is what I'm trying to ask. Are we going to run up the score on them?
I think it's very – listen, like I said, Arizona, in every single game I watched so far, I don't know if they're averaging 30 points, but every single game I've watched of Arizona this year, they've allowed more than 30 points. So I think the Giants can get close to that number. It all depends on how consistent they want to stay. Now, the defense could help us out with that point total and giving us good field position, right? So I think that would be a
I want
good.
a pick six. I want
Yeah,
to. What the last pick six we had was from Kyler Fackrell, week 5 against the
right,
Cowboys.
right. I want another pick six,
I
man. I
want a
want
pick six.
James Bradbury pick six, man.
I want James Bradbury to go out there, Moss D Hop on a catch and just return it for a touchdown, bro. I'll picture it. Picture it. Sunday, right? What date is Sunday? Somebody tell me right now. December 13th. Picture it.
Okay.
Arizona Stadium, Glendale, Arizona. Kyler Murray drops back. He takes a snap, drops back. He's looking. Nobody's open. He says Blake Martinez over the middle. He says, I don't want to challenge that absolute beast. He sees a lion coming off the left side. It's Leonard Williams. He runs to the right. Somehow, some way, that man, DeAndre Hopkins, got just a little bit open. Chucks the ball up. It's traveling. The line of scrimmage was at the 35-yard line, by the way. This is like a 12-yard pass. D-Hop looks like he's coming down with it, but out of nowhere, James Bradbury strikes. Picks it off. Runs into the end zone, bro. Untouched. Cheers.
That would be amazing.
Listen, man, I would love if that happened, bro.
I long for that. Hopefully we can get some sort of. Listen, I love defensive touchdowns, man.
Mm-hmm.
Love defensive touchdowns. So that would be amazing to see there. Quick little update on Matt Parrott. He actually did not practice, so that is not good. He's on there with an ankle injury, so that's not going to be good for his anchor and pass protection. So. Or run protection as well. So he did not practice, which is bad. Now Darnay Holmes and Daniel Jones are limited in practice. Blake Martinez with the back.
Well, what happened with Darnay? What was up with Darnay? He seemed
Darnay has a knee injury, but he'll play. He's on limited practice. I think just precautionary stuff. I think he'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. And then the people are correcting me. And this is something great. Listen, I might seem overconfident. I really think we're walking away with a win. One thing you definitely got to take into account, Patrick Torres says it. Who else said it here? I'm looking at here. Joe Yiadom said it. They're traveling to New York. So in my fantasy land, I definitely got it wrong. They're not going to – I don't see a way they do good in New York, bro. This is where the defense and the ground and pound is going to come to life.
And cold weather as well. Arizona's not used to cold weather.
And it snowed today in practice.
Yeah, it snowed. And one thing I will say is the Giants had not had a home game in a month. This is the first time they're going to be back home in a whole month. So they're going to be coming back, they're going to be rested up, right? They got their away games, gone, and they won both their away games, right? So they're going to be coming back home and cold weather. I would love a snow game. I would love a snow game with the desert heat Arizona Cardinals that is used to all this dry heat weather in the snow is going to be amazing. And with the Giants able to run the ball the way that they are, they're perfect for a snowy game. Arizona, they have an air raid. Oh my God, Hub, we figured it out. It needs to snow on Sunday. Arizona, it runs an air raid offense, a college air raid offense. They sling the ball.
I'll tell you what, even their air raid offense, it ain't even that high flying, bro.
Right, exactly. So this would be perfect. The Giants are a ground and pound team. Arizona's an air raid offense. Ground and pound teams are more successful in snow, heavy weather like snow or rain, right? So I think it'll be just fine. Oh my God, I want this game to be in snow. We would definitely win.
Hey, listen, man. Here's the thing too. Edward Chance brought up a good point. He says, "Don't get too overconfident." I'm sounding just like myself during the 49ers week, where I said during that week, I see no way that they beat us. I'm not saying that. I never said that, but I am saying I see such a great chance of us winning. Maybe I'm getting overconfident. Shout out to Zach Phillips for $2 super chat. Thank you so much. He says, any new news on Martinez? Not anything like definitive. I put out a video today where I talked about Martinez and Daniel Jones's injury updates. Basically, Joe Judge said, and Joe Judge is not medical staff, so he's talking based off of what he saw, that, they're going to have them checked up for any type of inflammation and whatnot, but it's nothing too serious. It looks like, it's back sores. He should be good to go against the Cardinals, but there's nothing definitive. I mean, if for some reason the medical staff says no, sit Blake out, then obviously he'll sit out. There's no definitive news on him, but it's nothing. It's not a serious injury. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think it'd be that. I think if it was really serious, they would have gone ahead and let everybody know that, listen, this guy's not going to be playing. So I think they're waiting to tell the media because they really don't know what to think about the injury yet. So that's a little bit of a good sign, right? Where they don't know how severe it is, and they don't think it's going to be that bad. So, yeah.
Was he on the injury report when you were just looking at it?
Yeah, he didn't practice.
He did not practice. All right then. Oh, that's something to keep in mind, man. That's definitely
Yeah.
something to keep in mind. Let's talk about these Washington football team. How'd you feel after they beat the Pittsburgh Steelers? And give me your
Not
general thoughts on that.
not gonna lie, a little depressed. I was a little depressed. It kind of like, first off, congratulations to all the Washington fans out there. King Sean, if Tim is in the building, Scotty Boone's, part of that Authentic in the Beard team. Um, congrats to Washington. I really don't hate Washington, but I'm a little depressed because I want it to be at least a game up in the division, going into going into the rest of the what is it, 3 game stretch we have left, or 4 game stretch
Four
we have,
game, yeah.
4 game stretch we have left. I want it to go up at least one game there, to try to give us some breathing room should we lose a game, right? But now Washington is right there with us, and they have an easier schedule with us, so. I'd be lying to you if I said I'm not worried. I'd be lying to you if I said I'm not worried, because Washington has a really good defense, not as good as ours, but I think it's getting there.
And then you know what's crazy? Uh, on Pro Football Reference, not Pro Football Focus, Pro Football Reference, guys, which is what I use. I think they're really great for a lot of these, stats and rankings and whatnot.
Mhm.
On that website, Washington does rank ahead of us in terms of defense. A big part of that is because their passing defense has been like one of the top passing
Right.
defenses all year.
They're like fourth in the NFL in passing, and at one point we were fourth in the NFL in passing.
Exactly. So listen, while they might be ahead of us stats wise, I think the eye test generally a lot of people would agree that we do have the better defense.
Yeah, and you know why their defense is so highly looked at? They don't defend the run very well, and that's why the passing stats are very low. Think about the Giants. We stuff the run very well, and that's why teams are throwing on us, because they have no they that's how they pad the stats. I would say a defense that can stop the run better, they can stop the pass, is actually a better defense than a team that stop the pass than the run, because when you can't stop the run, you can't control time of possession. Your defense is always on the field, and you don't give your offense the ability to move the ball down the field and control the clock. So, I would say the Giants are in better position right now in being able to stop the run than the pass. And we do well against the pass. It's just that teams are forced to pass more against us because they can't run the ball at all.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
we are
then
top 10 in run and rush defense.
what do you have to say? Because I was surprised with myself. I found myself defending the Washington football team and Washington fans, and we say this all the time, yo. Washington, they're technically our rivals, but I don't hate them. Like, I hate the Eagles. I hate the Cowboys. I can't stand Eagles fans. Cowboys fans make me laugh with how delusional they are. Washington, I don't hate the Washington football team. I like them to an extent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The Washington football team fans, I've never met an insufferable Washington football team fan. They're all generally nice people. So it's like I found myself defending them. What do you say to people that said, oh, it was a fluke? Or the people that say, oh, Pittsburgh was a fraud anyway. You guys really shouldn't take pride in that win. What do you say to people like that?
Well, here's the thing. I think Pittsburgh is a fraud, but I'm not taking anything away from their win against what the Washington win against the Steelers.
Hmm.
I think they played a really good game, and they have some pieces there, man. They really do have some pieces there in Washington that they can work with. They are a quarterback away. Like Alex Smith is good, but they need more of a dynamic quarterback in there. But they're gonna be okay. We talked about this off stream. I'm actually looking forward. I want to hate the Washington football team. Like, I want to hate them.
I don't want to hate them because I like them.
I like them, but I want to have a healthy, rivalry, right? I want to wish they lose, but I can't find myself wishing that they lose all the time. I don't hate Washington at all. I really don't. And if anything, I wish for their success, as long as it has nothing to do with the Giants' chances of playoffs. If the Giants go 12-4, I want the Washington football team to go 10-6. I don't hate them. So, but I do want this to be a rivalry again. Not as far as head-to-head rivalry. As far
As
want
far
it
as
to
for
be,
battling for the division.
yes, battling for the division. I want that to be a rivalry. I want to have the constant kind of back and forth on who's going to win the division. Like, same thing with the Eagles and Cowboys, right? For the past, who knows how much, like freaking 10 years,
Hmm.
The Eagles and Cowboys, they were the top 2 dogs in the NFC East, and now it seems like it's going to be Washington and the Giants. So
Like how it
I'm all
was many years ago.
right, and I'm all for that. I long for the day to see the Cowboys and the Eagles fighting for the basement. Like I love that. I love
Mhm.
that.
And by the way, can't believe I'm saying this. Should Washington be the team that ends up making the playoffs, right? I would never cheer for the Eagles or the Cowboys, but I think I might cheer for Washington if they make it into the playoffs, just
If
because they're
I
such a
yeah,
similar team to us, bro.
yeah.
They are
I
so similar.
I have nothing. If anything, I want to see the NFC East show. Like, listen, we swept Washington, right?
Hmm.
If they find a way to make it far in the playoffs, we could say that we swept them, and it also gives more a reputation to the NFC East, right? The NFC East is known as the NFC least, right? And now if we get
Listen, bro, this past week we were the
division
NFC
reputation
Beast,
up,
bro.
right, right, we need to get this division's reputation up. So if they make it to the playoffs, I'm not going to be necessarily rooting for them. I won't really care as much. But if they win, hats off to them. If they lose, haha. That's pretty much how I see it. If
Okay,
they
I
lose,
guess I should say I wanted to have a modicum of success. The reason is because for me right now, right, and I'm talking about Washington this year, so I'm not talking about as an organization. So like, oh yeah, like next year, yeah, I'm gonna be cheering for them in the playoffs. We're literally very, very. I don't. We're not the same, but we're very similar. You talk about how the way our teams are built in the trenches. Washington, more specifically, the defensive trenches. Our coaches. We both had a coaching change and a cultural change this offseason, and we're both coming together at the right time. You know what I'm saying? We're very similar teams, man. And you know what? I gotta give props to Ron Rivera and Alex Smith. I saw Sabrina in the chat. Shots Sabrina. Shots Patrick Torres. Word member alert. They're fighters. Ron Rivera and Alex Smith, man. Obviously, Ron Rivera was battling for his life this past year. Thank God he made it through and everything's fine with him. That's something that's gonna affect him for the rest of life. Alex Smith. I don't know if you're watching the Pittsburgh game. It wasn't his same leg, but his other leg, it's like the dude was playing on one leg to begin with, and then he got cleat in the other one, and he was bleeding. Taped it up, went back out there, and did his job.
what happened? How did it bleed that bad? It
So
looked like
his offensive
gory.
lineman,
Uh-huh.
like the offensive lineman backed up into him, and the cleats on the offensive lineman literally impaled his foot, and he
Oh,
started
God.
bleeding.
He's like, again on this foot now.
On the other foot, yeah, exactly. He
Oh,
got
dude.
taped up, and then they sent him back out. Like, it was a lot of blood, too. Like, it was on the shoes and
I saw
everything.
the picture. I saw the picture, but I didn't really know what happened. But dude played on dude played on one leg and still basically dude played on no legs
Dude played
basically.
on no legs, bro.
Dude was a ghost. Dude was floating.
Man was playing without
Oh,
any type of leg support, and he still made it happen. By the way, I gotta give him props for this. What a veteran move at halftime. They got the field goal off, and the clock stopped because he ran off the field with the football. People were wondering what happened there. Why did the clock stop? I think he did it on purpose, bro. I think he did it
yeah.
on purpose.
Wow. Oh, that's smart. That's just smart football right there, man.
Hmm.
Smart football.
Kyle Cruz says non-Giants questions, but if you were the Rockets front office, okay, now this is basketball. I don't know how much you know about basketball, KB, and the Rockets right now, but
I know that he's trying to get traded, isn't that right?
everybody's trying to get traded. All I'm
Yeah.
gonna say, I'm a big LeBron fan. All I'm gonna say is, you notice how Bron's in the West now. He won a championship in the West, and now everybody wants to go out East. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. Everybody wants to go out East.
True.
That's all I'm gonna say. When he was in the East, everybody was going out West. That's
No,
I'm
they're
gonna just
all
leave it
running
at
from
that.
him, man. They're all running from him.
I'm gonna just leave it at that. But guys, definitely get your questions in here. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? This might end up being a short stream. We've only been going for an hour, but it does kind of run on how many questions y'all got for us. KB, any topic you really want to talk about?
Oh, well, wait, I guess we could talk about the Cleveland game a little bit on the implication of that. I guess Odell Beckham's comments. Oh, matter of fact, we should probably talk about those Odell Beckham comments. I wasn't able to make a video on it.
Go ahead and give your thoughts.
So, did you make a video on it? Did you talk about yours already?
I talked about it on stream yesterday, but I didn't
Uh,
make a vid. So they
So,
kind of already know my thoughts, but you could give yours.
a lot of people see me. A lot of people actually subscribe to my channel with the whole Odell Beckham rant. Obviously, my feelings towards Odell Beckham isn't the same way it is now. But let me tell you something. Odell, we don't like Odell, right? He's had so many shots on the Giants right now that I took personal, that I thought was a little too petty after he left New York, and it was more so taken out. He was more so directing that towards certain particular people, not the Giants organization. I honestly do believe Odell Beckham loved this franchise. I honestly do believe just because it was the big lights, right? The New York Giants, such a decorated franchise. I think Odell Beckham loved the fact that he was part of a huge market, and that's why he wanted to win a championship here. And I also do believe he liked Eli. I also do believe he did. I
Really?
think, yes, I also do think he liked Eli, and I think he said it. He made a mistake in saying that Eli wasn't where he was and all that other stuff, and wasn't who he was, same quarterback. But I have mixed feelings on the whole Odell Beckham, the recent comments, because I think he's more so getting on the Giants' good side now. Now that the Giants are doing a lot better now, I feel like he's just giving good comments to the Giants to try to have like a no hard feelings type of thing and try to burn down, the bad bridges there, and make chicken.
Somebody keeps saying tuna sandwich. It's not.
No, not a tuna sandwich. But I have mixed feelings on it, man. As far as Odell Beckham goes, I think what he said was 100% facts, though.
I agree. The quote that I took away from that.
Yeah, a lot of people
were
are very
just drafting, not building.
Yeah, people are too blinded by what Odell Beckham did to this franchise, and they don't realize what he actually said in that interview. And he said, did you hear what he said? After he retires, he's gonna give the truth on everything that he went through, and everything
that's where he lost. Listen, he got me. I completely agree with the fact he's saying we were drafting, not building. I was there during the prime, and the Giants weren't doing anything because that's facts. That's why Jerry Reese was a bad GM. He was telling the truth there. When he says, I'm going to let the truth out when I retire, he lost me there. He also lost me.
I think that's true. The 2017 season, we don't know the full story to that season yet. That was one of the worst seasons the Giants have ever had in history.
Listen, we had a lot of injuries that season. What are you
talking about? No, I'm talking about...
It was bad coaching and a lot of injuries.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Ben McAdoo and all that and all that other stuff that went on over there. They were literally losing to get Ben McAdoo out of there. Janoris Jenkins was a huge part of that, and I feel like that's the information he's going to release. I always said this for a year, ever since that 2017 season. There's something we still do not know about that 2017 season and Ben McAdoo that we don't know yet. I want to know.
I don't know what you mean, because for me, it seems pretty clear cut. We suffered a bunch of injuries in the beginning of the season. Ben McAdoo was not a good coach, and we just didn't have guys that would buy into it. So he lost the locker room. I mean, what else is there to the story?
No, because it was a flip. It was just a complete flip. Like 2016, everybody loved Ben McAdoo. We made the playoffs, and it was listen, I don't care. Just a simple amount of injuries. We weren't we were decimated, but other teams have overcome that before. And yes, it was bad coaching. A freaking 11-5 team does not turn into a 3-13 team the next season just for that. I mean, they were intentionally losing games. I never see a Giants team intentionally lose games before. They were intentionally losing games. I know they won against Kansas City, Denver. They beat Kansas City, Denver, and Washington, right? Mm-hmm. And they had a couple of good wins. That Denver win was a good win. That Chiefs win was a good, hard-fought win. But there were a bunch of games like that. I believe there was that Rams game. I believe it was the Oakland game. They were intentionally losing because they wanted Ben McAdoo out of there. Listen, there's stuff I want to know about that 2017 season that I'm very intrigued about.
Listen, he lost me there because I'm just like, Odell, you did it to yourself, man. You got us. You left. We traded you because you did it to yourself, and that's why when he said, the coaches were turning, my own guys against me. I'm pretty sure he means Shermer was probably turning Sterling Shepard against him. And then right after that was when he made the comment, I'm going to release everything after I retire. He lost me because I'm like, if I'm Shermer, I'm probably telling Sterling Shepard to stay away from you as well. Not only because of the boat trip stuff, but if this is after what he's describing, Shermer turning people away from him, if that's after the Jacina Anderson interview, I'm 100% telling the locker room to stay away from you. 100%.
That's true. That is very true. I mean, listen, I don't hate Odell Beckham. I feel like his personality overcame himself. I feel like he had good intentions, but he was always focused on the market. He was always focused on big-time plays. And even though, listen, he wanted to win. It's different with guys that are big-time players and they don't care about anything else, just being the spotlight. No, he wanted to win. He wanted to sacrifice himself, his career, to win games. He said it when Sterling Shepard got drafted in 2016. He was trying to get Sterling Shepard to break his rookie record for the Giants at 1,305 yards. That's a rookie receiving record. He wanted Sterling Shepard to break that because that would mean the Giants would have more success. He wanted that for the team. So, Odell Beckham was a very, very like Jekyll and Hyde guy. Like you didn't like he had the leadership, but at the same time, he lost a lot of locker room guys. Like you can tell he's a guy that splits a locker room, right? You can tell he's a guy that
And
splits.
somebody just said it, by the way. I think Gilliam, he has a good point. And guys like Shepard and Saquon are definitely still on Odell's side. Like Saquon and Odell are still good friends.
Yeah, that's good. Here's the thing. People confuse that with I'm on Odell's side. You could be friends with somebody and still not be on their side. You know what I'm saying? Like if you say who you gonna back in this situation, I don't think Saquon and Sterling Shepard are just gonna back him, right? Because they would have probably rebelled and left the team as well. Not so much Saquon, but Sterling Shepard being the veteran. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that Sterling Shepard is still, is not picking up Odell's antics, you can still hang out with the guys. Like people always get in their feelings for Saquon and Sterling Shepard hanging out with Odell. I mean, come on, just because you hang out with somebody or it doesn't mean you're actually going to do exactly what they do. And, or they're going to, kick a net or something like that, or have a celebration like a peeing dog. I don't care if Saquon hangs around Odell. I mean, that to me doesn't bother me.
Mm-hmm. And to speak on that Browns game, which started this whole topic in general, the Browns game, Odell's gonna be out. You know who's in though? Baker Mayfield. I want this defense to destroy him.
Oh my God.
I want this man to get this. I want Leonard Williams to sack him like 5 times.
You know what's crazy? I actually, for as a Giants fan, not in a personal way, as a Giants fan, I dislike Baker Mayfield more than Odell. Why? Because Odell not exactly had the right to speak wrong about the Giants, but was relevant to the Giants. Baker Mayfield started taking shots at Daniel Jones and the Giants, and he has no relevance to this organization whatsoever. Like, he just decided to put his 2 cents in, open his big fat mouth. I was actually a supporter of Baker Mayfield before.
Kidblue was a big Baker Mayfield fan before.
I was a huge Baker Mayfield. I thought he was a guy that was non-PC. He's a guy that's going to tell you what he thinks, and I like that in a gritty quarterback. That's what I wanted in a quarterback. But even before, now I'm not saying this is just a Giants fan. Like, he took a shot at the Giants. Now I'm offended. Even before that, he was taking shots at like that Texas quarterback Sam Ehlinger, and I was like, "Oh, that's a little too much, man. Like you're going a little too far with this." He was starting to take shots at the whole what's his name? The coach for Cincinnati.
The previous coach, Marvin Jones?
No. The coach after that.
Oh, the one right now, Zach Taylor?
No, the one in between, the one that went.
Oh, the former Browns coach.
Yeah.
Hugh.
Somebody
right?
Now.
Hugh? I'm forgetting his name, but he did go and coach. But yeah, his former coach basically.
He used to work for Cincinnati. Not Freddie Kitchens. Not Zach Taylor is not a Browns coach.
Former Browns coach, then he became a Cincinnati coach.
Why is everybody mentioning every single name except the guy?
Hugh
Jackson.
Jackson.
There we go. Hugh Jackson. He had that whole thing with Hugh Jackson where he was acting like a little baby because Hugh Jackson joined the former team he used to work for in Cincinnati Bengals. And like Baker Mayfield got in his feelings about it and used it as motivation in the game where it was so stupid. And that's why I really got off the Baker Mayfield bandwagon. And then he brings the shots on the Giants, and that really made me go off on Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield was the first person on my channel to receive the crown of the clown.
Yeah, I actually dislike Baker Mayfield more than I dislike Odell. I hate Baker Mayfield. I really want to destroy him in this game.
You went from a big Baker fan to I just hate the guy.
Yeah, because I think he took everything way too far. Because he had a good rookie season, so he thought he was the hot stuff, and he thought he was the best quarterback of all time and the savior of the Browns. And and then he started taking shots at everybody, and then he had that sophomore slump, and then he stood quiet. So
I remember I woke up feeling dangerous.
Right, I woke up feeling a little dangerous. So I can't wait to destroy Baker.
By the way, shout out to everybody in here. See Vance, Billow, Paul Nonas, Big Will, Evan, Mikey C. Thank you, Evan, for the compliment. Patch Torres, Kyle Cruz, get your questions. Don't forget that. So, do you think there's anybody on this Giants defense that takes what he said about DJ to heart? Like, there's a good amount of defense that wasn't here last year when he said it, but you think there's anybody on that defense that's saying, I'm gonna get at you because you got at my team?
I would say so. If Baker Mayfield's gonna put in his 2 cents because he feels like because his boy Odell Beckham feels some type of way about an organization, he put his 2 cents. I'm pretty sure the Giants are gonna put their 2 cents as well and say, hey, at the end of the day, I mean, he didn't necessarily direct it towards me, but he directed it towards my the
People,
team
so
that.
people are saying in the chat Leonard Williams. Now I don't know how Leonard Williams feels about DJ, or if he's just gonna do it because it's a team pride thing. But I would love for Leonard Williams to get in there, man.
Oh, man, Leonard Williams to just destroy him, man. I would love that. And we hit 100 people in the chat. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. 101. If you guys haven't already, make sure you guys hit that like button. It helps us out a lot. And as you guys can see, the production's getting, gradually better. It's not going to be as good when it's on my channel because I don't even know how to mess with this type of stuff. But the support you guys have shown on this podcast has been absolutely amazing. We went from just like 10 people, showing up to the streams to 100, and we've been getting that consistently throughout the past couple of weeks. So everybody that's been in here, a huge shout out to you guys, and thank you guys so much for the support. Let's get those likes up, helps out the algorithm, and would give us a bigger audience to keep the show afloat. So thank you guys so much. You guys are the reason why we do this, man. I appreciate all the love you guys are and support you guys are showing.
100%. Thank you guys so much for tuning in here, man. I'm surprised you didn't mention your favorite player, who's definitely gonna want a little bit of revenge.
Jabril Peppers. What did he do last year? What do we need him for?
The way he's been playing. I would love for this to be a Peppers revenge game.
I forgot all about that. Jabril Peppers, formerly of. It's crazy to say it. I can't even imagine Jabril Peppers in a Browns uniform. That's how much I really think he's tied to the New York Giants. Yeah, that's how much I like.
Bro, he loves the Giants, and I love that.
He loves the Giants, man. I think he was low-key a Giants fan because he grew up in New Jersey. I wouldn't be surprised if he was a Giants fan because of how much he reps his team. Mm-hmm. Same thing with Logan Ryan. Logan Ryan's in New Jersey.
You talk about repping the team. He got in contact with Carl Banks and wears some of Carl Banks' vintage jackets, bro.
Do you notice how all the New Jersey guys, including Victor Cruz, all the New Jersey guys just are straight up New York Giants stands? Yeah. Like all the guys that play for the New York Giants, like Jabril Peppers.
I know Logan Ryan is a Rutgers guy, but I don't know if he was ever a Giants guy. But he loves the Giants too.
Well, he's a Jersey guy. He grew up in Jersey as well. So a lot of these guys are Jersey, man. So I love the show. But Jabril Peppers, man, he's gonna come out in this game, and hopefully he gets a little bit go. I hope he gets he gets some pressure when he's pass rushing.
They've disguised the safety blitz so well.
Oh man, I can't wait. I want to see that's actually what I want. Forget about Leonard Williams. I want to see Jabril Peppers get after Baker Mayfield, man. That would be great.
I need to see Jabril Peppers have the Landon Collins pick six, pick off Baker, and then just have the longest return for the pick six ever, bro.
I want to see that, man. Want to see that.
And some people were saying Kevin Zeiler, yes, also of the Browns, but I don't know if it's possible for an offensive lineman to have a revenge game. Like, what does that even mean? He's just gonna have a really good game.
Yeah, Kevin Zeiler should have a good game too. I'm excited to see him play. Saquon's father was a Jets fan. Yeah, and Saquon was a Jets fan as well.
Saquon was a Jets fan, yeah.
Saquon was a Jets fan.
I'm hoping he's converted because he plays for the Giants now. I wouldn't be surprised. He's a Giant off the field, you know what I'm saying? He's a great dude. But yeah, Saquon was definitely a Jets fan as a guy growing up, man.
Yeah, it's crazy to see how other players were like fans of other teams. Like Odell's a Saints fan, and Saquon's a Jets fan. Eli Apple was an Eagles fan, so it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
It is what it is.
Ali Marpet, the guy that I wanted a couple of drafts ago in the 2016 draft, he was a Giants fan. He was like, yo, I want to go to he was a Division II guy. Ali Marpet's one of the best guards in the league that plays for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now. But he was trying to go to the Giants with that second round pick, but then we chose Sterling Shepard.
Oh, Golden Tate was also a Giants fan. I don't know if he's from Jersey, but Golden Tate was a Giants fan as well.
Okay, yeah, and that's probably why he loves his team so much as well. He speaks so highly about this team too.
Yo, after he got put in his place, all he ever does is speak highly about the team.
Well, even before that too, when he got signed, he was like all about the Giants.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we don't talk about Dwayne Haskins, but yeah, Dwayne Haskins was a Giants fan.
Yeah, we don't talk about Haskins.
Dwayne Haskins was a Giants fan, though. I do remember that.
Haskins to the Washington football team.
Bro, I remember seeing the Dwayne Haskins in the Giants jersey, and I used to get hype. I tell this story a lot. I say it a lot, but literally 1 week before the draft, I said to myself, nah, he's not the guy. Because, I started doing much more research on him.
Yeah. After the combine,
exactly 1 week before the draft, I put out a video. I remember it was the Tuesday before the draft. I'm like, guys, I take it back. Haskins is not the guy. There's just something about him that tells me he's not going to work out. I don't really like the fact that he does a lot of short passes, and that's it.
Right, exactly. And then the whole 1 year one, like he reminded me a lot of Cardale Jones. You remember Cardale Jones? I don't know
Hmm.
if you go that far back, but he was another 1 year wonder Ohio State guy. And back in that year where he only played 3 games, in 3 games, get this, 3 games that Cardale Jones played. Granted, he did win the championship. 3 games, he was graded out as a first round pick. 3 games he's ever played in college football. And then he said, "You know what? I want to stay. I want to stay my senior year in college, and I want to play out my season in college." He sucked that year and wound up being like a third or fourth round pick to the Chargers or the
Hmm.
Bills, one of those teams. He played for both. I forgot which one actually drafted him. I think it was the Bills.
Shout out to Calvin in the chat, by the way, resident Cardinals fan and also channel member. He says, "Hey guys, good luck this weekend. Hoping for a good game. You're in the driver's seat, but don't forget Fitz is back." Calvin, I love you, man. I love the fact that you love us so much that you support us like this, consistently a Cardinals fan. But I gotta keep it real with you. I don't know how much of a factor Larry Fitzgerald is gonna be.
I don't really care. Yeah, Larry Fitzgerald's gonna catch the 3 yard passes.
Like I don't expect Fitz to do anything. Fitz is a Hall of Famer. I don't expect him to do anything much this game, man.
Yeah, Larry, let me tell you, Calvin, if you're still in here, man, Calvin, Larry Fitzgerald is one of my favorite players of all time. I love Larry Fitzgerald on the field and off the field. I always wanted him to get a ring, and I wish he could have won in 2010. But unfortunately, in this game, I don't think he's going to be a big factor. I love Larry Fitzgerald, but dude's old. He's really on the breaking point of retiring. So no respect.
Calvin said no
No
respect,
respect.
bro.
I respect him, like just like the whole Eli situation, but you got to recognize, he's getting older,
Listen, at this point in his career, Calvin, hey man, it would be a Giants thing though for Larry Fitzgerald to have like the best game he's had in like 4 years against the
Right.
Giants.
It would be a Giants thing. He had
Cause
like
yo,
two.
listen, Isaac Yiadom's gonna be on him. Let's talk about that. Isaac Yiadom's been improving though. What are you
I
expecting from him?
Nobody ever no listen. I've been saying ever since the Tampa Bay game that Isaac Yiadom's been better, and nobody has listened to me. Nobody listened to me. Everybody say, "Well, Isaac Yiadom sucks." Like, bro, watch him play. He's actually getting a little better. Yes, he gives up some catches, but he's had a couple of good knockdown passes in games. He had like 2 in Tampa Bay. He had a really good one again in that Rams game in the end zone. And he's been playing a lot better lately, and I think that's a patch. Remember what I told you? Isaac Yiadom's a perfect example. I honestly think next year, whoever we bring in for defense, offense, whatever, as long as we have good coaching, whoever we bring in, they're going to perform well because of coaching. And Isaac Yiadom is a prime example of that. This guy was not good going to Denver. I clowned on him in Denver, and I was shocked when we brought him in. I'm like, oh, God.
I mean,
But
we
he's
only brought him in for a seventh, and what a trade that was. I definitely would give up a seventh for him.
definitely won that trade. Definitely won that trade. So.
Exactly. And listen, Isaac Yiadom, he did a great job last week. Cause who was he almost the time? Tyler Lockett. Who did I not see any of last week? Tyler Lockett. That man was nowhere to be found.
Hey, Paul Nona said, KB, we said the same thing about Ryan Lewis. Be careful. But hey, I didn't say the same thing about Ryan Lewis.
I
Everybody
I
else.
said that. KB did not.
Okay, so yeah, everybody was on the Ryan Lewis bandwagon after one game, and I said no. Let's see what we have first. Let's see the battle between Yiadom Ballantine at the time and Ryan Lewis. I wasn't surefire a guy for Ryan Lewis, but Yiadom is. If you look at the snaps, you don't see anybody else like Ryan Lewis. Where the hell has he been? You know, is he still hurt? I don't
Now,
even
now
think he's.
here's the thing, right? Yiadom got back during that Buccaneers game, and
Mhm.
that's when Yiadom was he benched or was he also a little bit hurt for a while? Maybe it was a mixture of both. I can't
Mhm.
remember. But ever since he's come back, he's been consistently improving. There has been no need for Ryan Lewis to be out on the field, and I think Lewis might have gotten hurt at some point too. I don't know, but
Lewis
Yiadom's been playing really good.
Yes, everybody's saying Lewis was released, so
Okay.
that tells you they have utmost confidence in Isaac Yiadom. And
What are
what?
what are the chances? I gotta ask you. What
Let
are
me tell you,
yeah, go ahead.
that's how you know this team is like this team as far as coaching staff goes is just A1, bro. They took a random second year. It looked like a second round bust corner
Third
in
third
third
round.
round bust corner in Isaac Yiadom from Denver, who was clowned. I mean, in his rookie season, just absolutely clowned in his rookie season. They took him and said, you know what? I could do something with this guy. Took a little bit of time, but he's actually a decent, semi-decent. I don't want to say
KB,
decent.
how much credit are we giving Gettleman? And we've been big Dave Gettleman defenders. We've been
Bro,
huge Dave Gettleman defenders.
I think we've made more. I think just me and you have made more Gettleman believers than a lot of people have, man. We have been the biggest Gettleman apologists since day one. Every single move that he's made, we're like, listen, trust the process, trust it. No matter what happens, I'm after that Odell situation. That's when I really got mad at Dave Gettleman. As you can see, a week later, I was like, nah, I think Dave Gettleman was right. Ever since that Odell situation, almost 2 years ago, it's crazy to say, almost 2 years ago, I've trusted Dave Gettleman with every single move that he's made. Even the Daniel Jones one. I was pissed about the Daniel Jones one, but I still was like, listen, Dave Gettleman must know something that we do not, and he did. So I listen, Dave Gettleman should keep his job. Dave Gettleman will keep his job, and I think Dave Gettleman
And me
is
and KB have said
Giants.
the very first collab we ever did before the Young Guns podcast was a thing. This was
Right.
back before I hit 1,000 subs. It was earlier this year, right? One
Mhm.
of the main topics we're talking about is why Dave Gettleman needs to come back. Dave Gettleman needs to come back for consistency, for lack, so that you don't have much turnover in the front office. That's why we were arguing for him to be back. But the one thing we didn't mention, because we didn't realize at the time how many Dave Gettleman opposers there were, was because he just does a good job as a GM. Like he's a good GM. He has his bad moves, 100%. He's always had a good drafts though, and the first year he got some money in free agency, just all hits, bro, all hits.
Yeah. And let me tell you something. He's gotten so much better at free agency. And let me just dispute the whole free agency situation real quick. Let me come to DG's defense real
You
quick.
take it. I'm gonna take another bite.
Go ahead, take that bite. But it just looks weird when you bend down like that and you come up. It just looks weird. That's why everybody's clowning you, by the way. But anyway, let me defend Dave Gettleman real quick. A lot of people say, "Oh, but look what he's done in free agency." Okay, in his first year, let's go on his free agency. The Giants had bad cap room, and listen, the worst Gettleman move that he's made was Nate Solder. What GM doesn't mess up on a pickup in free agency? What GM?
Nate Solder was the best available tackle as well.
Let me tell you, who on earth disputed the Nate Solder situation at this time of the signing? Nobody. In fact, it was the complete opposite. It was, oh my God, we actually got a GM that paid attention to the offensive tackles. We got Nate Solder. He's coming from the Patriots. We signed him big money. He's going to be great. He's going to be the best left tackle, all this and that, right? And then Nate Solder sucks and, oh my God, Dave Gettleman sucks. I can't believe he didn't see this coming. We didn't see it coming. Nobody saw it coming. Nate Solder was the best tackle on that market. Of course he had to get overpaid. He was a high commodity at the time. Okay? When you have low supply, there's a high demand. All right? It's basic economics. All right? And I suck at math. So if anybody should understand that, if I understand it, you guys should understand it. Nate Solder was the worst signing. And then everybody wants to bring up Jonathan Stewart. Everybody wants to bring up Kareem Martin. Everybody wants to bring up Antoine Bethea. Okay, we had no cap.
Yeah, that's just money, man.
Season. You tell me where the hell we had money to bring up a better group of guys. We didn't have any guys to bring in. Just look at what Dave Gettleman did the next season. Jonathan Stewart wasn't on the roster. Antoine Bethea wasn't on the roster, and neither Kareem Martin. So those were stopgap players. It was his first season as GM. He didn't have a full season with the team. He had to get these guys ready and in place in a terrible roster in 2017. That was one of the worst rosters you could ever imagine. All right, for this New York Giants team, it was bad.
Now, one thing I can't defend, because like KB said, me and him have been like probably the biggest Dave Gettleman apologists since day one here. But one thing I can't defend was the letting go of Romeo Okwara, because Romeo Okwara was just a rookie with us and he was so good, and the trade of JPP. But JPP, the money he was making, now he looks good in Tampa, but he was not worth the money he was making with us, though. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. So that's one thing. Probably the one that I would probably say that wasn't their best move is keeping Olivier Vernon and getting rid of JPP. I've said that from the get-go. I've always wanted Olivier Vernon gone. Even when we signed him, and he was Mr. So close but so far from me. Like, he was a guy that finished with 6 to 8 sacks every season, was hurt, and had the potential to be a 14, 15 sack guy, but never quite got there. He was always close and always led the league in pressures. Okay, Dave Gettleman probably messed up in getting rid of Jason Garrett and keeping Olivier Vernon at the time. I'd say yes, he messed up. Okay, the Nate Solder situation he messed up at. Devin Kennard and Romeo Okwara. Okay, I mean, that's not really a huge detriment to his resume to say that he's a bad GM and should be fired. But I do understand that. I was very upset at that. I loved Okwara. I loved Kennard. But Dave Gettleman, nobody. There should be no Dave Gettleman, Dave Gettleman hot seat guys out there right now. None. Okay, because I think he's already made up for the Nate Solder situation. I don't think he's necessarily made up. He tried to make up for the Olivier Vernon situation with Lorenzo, O'Shane. They haven't been, going up to par lately, but he's put this team in a position to win. He's taken a team that's been neglected for 10 years, and he's found a way in 3 years to make this team compete again. Dave Gettleman should not just keep his job this year. This guy should be the guy moving forward. And I don't think that he will fail, but failure or succession, he should be the guy. I mean, he should be the guy to grow with Jones, with Joe Judge. He should, have that trio there, that quarterback, GM, and coach trio. Should get them a long way, man. Should get them a long way. So that's me defending DG, because I know a lot of people, the first thing they would talk about is Jonathan Stewart and Antoine Bethea and Kareem Martin.
And here's the thing as well, Kidblue.
Yeah, let me just say
this. 2 years ago, bro. Like, come on.
Let me just say this real quick before to let you continue. Whoever brings up that free agency in 2018 free agency with Jonathan Stewart, Kareem Martin, and Antoine Bethea, stupid arguments. I don't like it, just stupid arguments. Don't bring that to me. All right, don't bring that to me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, continue.
I was gonna say it's 2 years ago. Like, stop living in the past, and that was also at a time where we weren't rebuilding. So that's all I'm gonna say to that. Mark Primetime, the local Dallas fan, he says you can't always hit on free agency or trades. It's how you hit in the draft and hire the right guys to develop them. And guess what? Gettleman has done that. He has hit in the draft, and this year he's hired the right guys to help them. Shout out to DJ Smooth for the other $2 super chat. Thank you so much. He says, Joe is the CEO, GM, coach. He saved Gettleman. All right, this is where, and I don't necessarily disagree with this, but I think people gave Joe Judge a little too much credit with this year's draft.
I
As
agree.
a first-year head coach that didn't prove anything, I really doubt that he had as much control as people thought with the draft. Now, he had a say, because guess what? As a GM, it's your job to bring in people that would fit the coaches. Obviously, that's Dave Gettleman's job, to bring in people that would fit the coaches. And Joe Judge definitely had a collaborative effort, but I think y'all giving him way too much credit, as at the time he was somebody that had nothing.
Ooh, big boy, big things, baby. Oh,
Whoa.
God.
That came out of nowhere.
Oh, baby.
Die-hard Giants fan. Jesus Christ, that came out of nowhere with the 50 bomb.
Giants fan, I'm sure if the hub was on StreamYard, he would be able to put that up there and highlight and leave it for a while. But we're not on StreamYard this time, so we can't put the comment up. But whoa, baby!
And Die-Hard Giants fan is a member, by the way. Thank you so much for the $50 super chat, Die-Hard Giants fan. He says, I'm so pumped about this team. Joe Judge has this team fired up. All caps. He just changed the complete tone. We were over here talking about Gettleman and Judge, and now we hype again. Now we hype again, bro.
Nice, but huge shout out to Die. I was able to meet Die Hard Giants fan at the Giants Jets game. Awesome dude, man. He sat right behind us, right behind me and a little bit to the right. I remember where you were, man. I remember he was awesome enough to give Chris a Daniel Jones jersey. So
Die-Hard Giants fan, bro. Whenever the Rona is over and the games open back up, we definitely got him. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be another YouTube meetup. We're definitely gonna do it, man. Gonna get at the game, bro.
Hell yeah! But to go on with to what that comment was, that previous super chat on Joe Judge and
saving Dave Gettleman.
I completely agree with you. I think Joe Judge, although we love Joe Judge, as much as we talk about how much we like Joe Judge and how much he's the guy, he's the coach, right? He's receiving a little too much credit for how this team is going and how this team is constructed, because this was all
Well, I would rephrase that. How the team is constructed, he deserves all the credit he's getting for how it's going. But the
how it's
construction part, this was before he proved anything. So I really doubt he had as much control as people are saying he did, or
yeah.
as fans think he did, I should say.
I think Dave Gettleman is not getting enough credit for what's going on right now. If you look at the draft, just look at the draft, just look at this draft, the 2020 draft. You can tell it was a Dave Gettleman draft. This was, Joe Judge. This doesn't look like a Joe Judge draft to me. This draft looked like a Dave Gettleman's draft. Same thing with 2019. Same thing in 2018. And we've been hitting on all those picks. So,
And Tana has a good comment here. He says, "Here's my philosophy on Judge. If he's hands off with the coaching staff, why wouldn't he be hands off with the GM? I think he made suggestions, but Gelman made the decisions. I agree." And I said this, at the end of the day, it's Gelman out there doing the scouting and working with the scouting department. He's the one bringing a set of guys to Judge. Judge is the one saying, out of this set of guys, here's an even smaller.
oh my God! Oh God! Oh damn! Oh my God! You better have me singing out here, man.
He's not a mod.
And this is not even
That
in
was
my,
a crime.
my channel, man, and I'm sweating.
It was a diehard Giants fan. I'm sorry.
Oh my God!
I can't get. People always think I'm not hyped because I don't get loud. I literally can't get loud, yo. I live in an apartment building. But diehard Giants fan with the second $50 super chat. This man basically donated $100 tonight. Thank you so much, my guy. He says,
let me shout for you, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Oh man. He said, "Damn straight, Hub. Mod, it's a crime that you didn't have the mod before, diehard Giants fan." He's been a member for a long, long time too, man.
My channel too, so I appreciate you.
I can't get loud, but KB, get loud for me.
Oh my God!
It's times like this that it's like, damn, I live in an apartment. I have neighbors, yo. I can't get as loud as I truly want to get.
Says, why are we spamming W? Why don't you look at the top chats, my guy? why don't you look at those two pink super chats up above, man?
Jesus Christ! Right back to what were we talking about before?
Huh?
What was the topic?
Joe Judge and Dave Gettleman. Dude, that's crazy.
I was saying something, but I can't remember what I was saying. I literally can't remember what I was saying. I think I was saying, oh yeah, Gelman's doing the scouting. He's bringing the guys to Judge. Judge picks out a couple from there, but Gelman at the end of the day has the final decision of who to draft. You know what I'm saying? Oh, thank you so much, Diehard. He says you're the man, bro. Man, nah, you're the man, bro. You're the man.
Yeah, the man. But
Jesus.
here's the thing. There's no, like, exactly what Tana said. He's hands off on the coaching staff. There's no way he could be hands on with Dave Gettleman. Dave Gettleman's his boss. I mean, Dave Gettleman is his boss. So there wouldn't be a sense of superiority with Joe Judge that he makes the decisions in his first year as a head coach ever. So it was definitely a Dave Gettleman draft. So Joe Judge gets a little too much credit when it comes to that aspect.
And this is gonna seem so weird, but I mean, I'm gonna get ready to close up shop here just because of time. Time-wise, we usually go for an hour and a half, sometimes two if there's a lot of questions. But guys, get your last questions, and I'm gonna get ready to close up shop soon. I just gotta say once again, thank you to diehard Giants fan, man. This man really dropped 250 bombs in a row, and thank you to everybody that donated tonight, everybody that's here. You know what I'm saying? The fact that you guys are here, you watch me and KB. Kidblue mentioned it earlier. When we started off the Young Guns podcast, we were barely pulling like 10, 15 people. Now here we are. We're pulling 80, 90, at peak 100. It's amazing. You guys are great supporters. This would not be here without y'all. The Giants community doesn't exist without the Giants fans. And it's crazy how much of fandom we have when the Giants are bad. When the Giants were bad, we're not bad anymore. We're getting good. It's going to be even crazier when we become one of those teams in the NFL, man.
Yeah, I'm all for it, guys. I'm all for experiencing that with all you guys. So it should be a fun journey.
Exactly, man. Hey, man, the turnaround is amazing. Listen, I'm gonna take this as the final thought. What do I think about the Giants going 9-7 or 8-8? I'll tell you this: 8-8 is a real possibility. 8-8
Mhm.
is a real possibility with this team, and don't be surprised if we do go 9-7 because every game after that Seahawks win, every game is winnable. I'm not saying we're gonna win every game, but don't be surprised if we somehow run the table, man. If we
Yeah.
somehow run the table, that
And
has to
when
be the most historic comeback ever.
if hypothetically speaking here, I'm not going to set it in stone yet. If we run the table, Joe Judge wins Coach of the Year, bar not even close. Because I held back on my Coach of the Year, talks with Joe Judge if we made the playoffs with a 6-10 record. Because at that point we would still be 6-10. We only made the playoffs because the rest of the division sucks, right? So I wouldn't be on board with Joe Judge getting a Coach of the Year, award if he gets a 6-10 record. I think that would have to go to either, Mike Tomlin lost the game, but it would have to either go to Mike Tomlin or Brian Flores. I think he deserves it a lot more than Joe Judge at this point right now. But if Joe Judge were to find a way to go 9-7, and even if they were in a position where they didn't win a division, they would still get a wild card in his first year as head coach, going through a pandemic season and going through with a team that had a terrible beginning. It would be a historic season, and he should get a unanimous vote for Coach of the Year if he does that.
hmm
So, yeah,
I mean,
that
if he turns it around, I mean, we're already kind of doing something historic with the fact that we start off 0-5, we start off 1-7. I think whoever between Washington and us, obviously, but whoever makes the playoffs, they're going to be the first team in history that start off 1-7 and still manage to make the playoffs. I think
right.
if we run the table, oh my God, talk about historic, run the table 9-7. Listen, y'all, people say I don't get hype enough for the Giants. I've been saying this for a couple weeks now. If we somehow run the table, we're 9-7 and we're in the playoffs, I'm singing Super Bowl season until we get knocked out. If we're 9-7 and we're in the playoffs, I believe we are a
Yeah,
Super Bowl
because
contender.
who would be the people we would beat to get in there? The Browns are a 9-win team right now. But the Baltimore Ravens, who were a Super Bowl favorite, and we just beat the Seahawks and the Cardinals. We would have to beat the Cardinals, who are playoff contenders, right? We're beating good opponents to get in. It's not like we're just beating crappy teams like Cincinnati and all the others, like the teams we beat before, like in Washington twice. We're not just beating those teams. If we make the playoffs with a 9-7 record, I have confidence going into the playoffs because we beat playoff teams, right? Baltimore, Browns, uh, um, uh, Seattle, Cardinals, right? We would have beaten those teams, and if we face the Bucks, I'm all for another rematch with the Bucks, and I think we will beat them there. And think about this Giants team making it, despite the record. Think about this Giants team making it to a divisional round when we thought the season would be nothing.
The thing is, I will say this: every single team, even if we're not 9-7, but we make the playoffs, that means we're 8-8, or we make it with a losing record. Every single team, there's only two. Seattle in 2010 and Panthers in 2014. Those two teams are the only two teams to make the playoffs with a losing record, and they both won their wild card games. They both went on to the divisional round.
Right? I believe Carolina faced the Arizona Cardinals that year. If I'm
2014, I want to say, right?
14. Yeah, they're 7-8-1.
Yeah, they were 7-1. They
See,
won their wild card. They went on to the divisional. Seattle, of course, that was the Beastquake game. They
yeah.
beat the Saints and they went on to the divisional. So, hey man, we'll see what happens. But I think there's something magical happening. I'm
They're
starting to get real hype, and I'm a dude that tries to keep it as objective as possible. But I'm starting to get real hype.
If people can't see what the Giants are doing right now, you're delusional. Like you've got mainstream people knowing what like already feeling what the Giants are about now. Like you got Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman out of all people talking about the Giants in a positive way. You
hmm
know, so if you can't see what's going on here, you're delusional.
But yeah, man. Listen, guys, get your last thoughts in. Once again, thank you all for being here. I'm gonna have to end it out soon. Big shout out to Diehard Giants fan once again. Man of the night, bro. Straight up. If you guys are interested, get your Sack the Halls merch down below. Link down below. It says Sack the Halls, but I can't raise it up more because then the shirt will just straight up start to come off of off of
Yeah.
me. The Wayne train as well in the
I
link down below.
my Wayne Train shirt right now. I actually wasn't able to fully order it because we went live. I was in the middle of ordering it right now, guys. But yeah, you guys should order yourself some merch, man. Order yourself some merch.
Directly helps out the channel. Thank you all so much. You guys were amazing tonight, man. One of the best streams ever. Thank you all so. I can't even say it enough, man. Kidblue, any last thoughts?
No, but I mean, listen, me and the hub were like trying to figure out, hey, what are we gonna talk about in this game because there's not, I mean, in this stream because there's not a lot to talk about. But we found what we need to talk about. And you guys, of course, giving in the good inputs, the good topics, and you keep the chat rolling, you keep the stream going, and you guys really, pretty much, you guys really carry this stream, man. It's very, I guess you could say, interactive.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's because of you guys that we do this, man.
Yeah, man. Once again, thank you all. Let's hope for the playoffs. Go G-Men.
Mhm.
You're